What membership is 100% worth every penny you pay for it? I live on an island in Alaska, with limited healthcare. An emergency flight to a more capable hospital will cost $50,000. For $100 a year, I save $49,900 if I ever need their services. That $100 covers everyone living under my roof. There is no limit on the number of flights. And seniors pay $75. Of course, the flight isn't a guarantee. Bad weather, or the donated jet needing repairs, can, and does, prevent you from being flown out. Public library. Some libraries offer tool rentals, and others offer culture passes, that allows 2 people to attend an attractions. Absolutely worth the price of free. We got all sorts of cool stuff. Trail cam, bird watching kit, telescope, tools, Roku with subscriptions, Nintendo Switch, toys, yard games, night vision goggles, and more on the way. Libraries are the best. The U.S. National Park Senior Pass. The best bargain in the nation. I got my National Park Pass for free, and all I had to do was give 20 years of my life to the military. Edit, I just want to add, so that no one gets the wrong idea. I was proud to serve, but I also understand why people wouldn't want to. YMCA, I pay $70 a month for a family of 4, and it includes use of the pool, gym, and sauna, and up to 4 hours of childcare a day. I go nearly every day, and have lost 60 pounds over the last 6 months. It's also my only childcare, as a stay-at-home mom, so it keeps me sane. Where is YMCA $70 for a whole family? Where I live, it's almost $70 per person. We receive financial aid, but usual price is $100 in Kentucky. I'm glad to hear that the financial aid goes where they say it will. Costco. For the chicken and food court alone it is worth it. Also, the over-the-counter medications. It's wild how much cheaper my allergy meds are there, compared to some place like CVS. A year's supply of allergy medication is like $30, compared to $20 to $30 a month from the pharmacy. That alone covers our cost of membership. Even if you only buy allergy med from Costco, it's worth the membership fee. $70 membership plus $14 bottle of 365 allergy pills, is basically 2 to 3 months max of Claritin, or other brands, at regular grocery store. A gym membership, you actually use. Worth paying extra, to join a gym you go to, then save money on a gym you don't visit. This 100%. I hate running on a treadmill and don't live in a walkable area, so, I'm willing to pay a bit more, for the one gym with an indoor track. Whatever gets me to actually exercise, is worth it to me. This made me remember MoviePass, and now I'm sad. I used to crush some MoviePass. My personal record was 86 movies in one calendar year. Holy shit, LOL, that's wild. Man, that was a good effing deal, while it lasted. Can't imagine how they possibly thought they'd do anything but hemorrhage money, but I'm glad they did. Their business model was so blatantly horrible, that I got a kick out of going to the movies, for that reason alone. I actually passed on it, because I was sure it had to be a scam, but couldn't figure it out, and that made me deeply uncomfortable. At first I assumed there were blackout dates on like new releases, or like it only worked on weekdays or some shit. Turns out, they were just dopes. The Great Courses. It's now under the umbrella of Wondrium, and they have a bunch of other stuff, but I looked for the GC stuff. They have hundreds of courses. Each one has roughly 26 to 40 lectures. They're the best professors in the world, the ones that students report as their favorite teachers. My boyfriend and I always have 4 on Thursdays, a science, an art, a philosophy, or wild card, and a history. We've done classes like botany, the Analects of Confucius, the Medicis, the physics of time, early humans and the history of food. I've got a good deal with them, at $10 per month, all I can stream. Great for lifelong learners. When my ex and I had first moved to New York, we bought family memberships to the Met and the Natural History Museum during the first week. Seriously, the best decision ever. They have all kinds of year-round events and things to do that you can bring family and friends. The Met has a members-only rooftop bar and mezzanine, members-only music events, like we watched the Philharmonic play Vivaldi's Four Seasons in the Temple of Tender. Members-only gallery viewings, curator talks by archaeologists, and various things you could volunteer for. It was like having an into the city. The Natural History Museum had a monthly Jazz Under the Stars night, with free food, drinks and music under the planetarium. I met Bill Nye and Neil deGrasse Tyson when he was working there, and a bunch of other minor celebrities. These are not expensive memberships either. PSA PreCheck. I have global entry. For a few dollars more, it's definitely more beneficial if you go internationally often. Get it? I do, as I travel a lot. Obviously unpopular opinion alert. But it's basically extortion, a shakedown. PSA already knows who you are, and have most everyone's info in their database, at this point, PreCheck or not. They make security lines so long, slow, and awful, that you pay up to alleviate the inconvenience that they're imposing on you, as if it's someone else causing it. It irks me seeing the clear salespeople stalking the TSA lines, like mafioso offering to deal with the unpleasantness for a price. PSA used to hand it out regularly to frequent travelers, but not since it turned into a shakedown. AAA, or equivalent roadside service club, in your respective country. A single tow costs more than your membership, and it quickly pays for itself. Plus, all the other discounts and affiliated services they offer, it is absolutely worth the money. Shout out to anyone who remembers Triptychs. Now this is going to blow young people's minds. There was a time when all we had were paper maps for navigating. You could call AAA and tell them your start address and end address. They would mail you, like through the actual mail that the mail person carries, a highlighted map and step-by-step directions. They were the bomb back in the day. Free, too. Spotify Premium. The free version is so bad, they shouldn't even offer it. It makes the platform look terrible. I always wondered if the free version was deliberately worse in addition to having ads. Just so many times it ends up playing things, and I'm thinking, how TF did I end up on this? It certainly doesn't make me want to pay for it. I've had Spotify Premium since 2011, and I listen to it all day every day. Best value subscription. About 10 years ago, I was member of the nudist resort that was near me. For giggles, I brought in my college ID. About $160 a year, for 24-hour access to the resort and grounds. For me it was my country club. Pool, big hot tub, gym, sauna. By my math at the time, all I had to do was visit 5 times a year to pay for it. I was there 2 to 5 times a week. Since it was a very rural area, and not much to do, going there saved me money, as anything decently worth doing was an hour or more away. Also, since it was a nudist resort, most of the people that annoyed me were not apt to bother me. Perfect privacy to detach from the world. Cook's Illustrated website. I pay for full access to the C Recipes, and America's Test Kitchen, and Cook's Country. Their recipes are outstanding, and definitely better than 90% of the stuff you can find for free. Is there a 500-word preamble on chili recipe that they write to talk shout roasted peppers, remind them of their summer in Mexico City, as a college student? Proud moment, I was an intern for them, about 15 years ago in the Brookline, Massachusetts location. Could still be there? I met everyone on the show, got to taste test food, and do graphic design for the magazine. I even got my name in it. I hate to admit it, but Amazon Prime. When working on a project, it's just so handy to have next day delivery. Damn you, Bezos. After 15 years, I finally canceled my Prime in January. They no longer were delivering in 2 days, and I had no need for their list of other benefits. Now, I just need to order a $30 minimum for free delivery, which is not really a big deal. Not gonna lie, the fast shipping is such bullshit these days. Seems like 20% of the time, they say it'll arrive in 2 days, and then I get an email that it's 2 days delayed, sorry. Game Pass is worth it. If you play more than one game every couple months, $19 per month versus $50 to $100 for a game. I'm not sure if this still works, but you can get the Game Pass for a massive discount. After it runs out, you need to buy an Xbox Gold membership and activate it. After that, you buy 1 month of Game Pass Ultimate, and it converts all your Xbox Live Gold to Game Pass. I did this twice already. Bought a year gold membership from a key site for like $50, and then the pass gave me 13 months for just a bit over $60. It's a little scary, because if it doesn't work you bought the gold for no reason, so if you want to try it, check if it still works before you do it. I have a subscription for air filters for the home, Filter Easy. It's one of those things you always forget to replace, then when you see them at the store, you forget what size you need. With the subscription, the correct ones come in the mail every 3 months, like clockwork. My union. They're out there, fighting to get me better wages and working conditions, and will back me with lawyers if the company tries to pull any shenanigans. Totally worth a few $100 a year. Didn't think of this one, but definitely agree. I agree with this. When I was being forced to miss breaks, because they didn't want to train anyone to cover me, and I was the only person in second shift, the union helped me get monetary compensation for those missed breaks, and they essentially forced upper management to train people to cover me, until they hired more people for my shift. AMC list, I pay $26 a month, for 3 movies a week. At my preferred theater tickets, for that are already $22, so, each movie I've seen in a month after the first is essentially free. Probably not worth it some months, but in the summer, when I see 5 to 7 movies a month, it's fantastic. I had this before COVID, and it was amazing. I live 20 minutes from Disney Springs, which has a massive AMC, and I would see movies all the time. The summer of 2019 maxed out, the 3 movies a week, for like an entire month straight. I would always go to the Dolby Theater, which on its own was over $20 even then. It was such an amazing deal. I would watch basically anything that looked even remotely interesting, because it wasn't like I was paying for it. After COVID, there weren't many movies coming out, and I didn't really see the value, plus we moved, and there's a much closer IMAX theater we go to now. My wife has several restaurant memberships that she signed up for years ago. She got into them during promotional periods that refunded the membership cost as introductory periods. She paid $25 initially, and they discounted that from the meal when she signed up. They never actually turned on the charging aspect, and she gets a lot of free meals given to her throughout the year. They are mostly boutique restaurants, and she gets various perks, like priority seating, no wait, and special attendance by management, along with the meals being calmed. I'm a scuba diver. For $75 per year, I get extra insurance, in case I have an accident while diving. They pay for medical evacuation, they have a dive doctor speak to the ER doctor, if they don't know how to treat me, and they help coordinate getting me into a decompression chamber, if I need it. My health insurance won't cover any of that. Plus, I can call them anytime, with medical scuba questions. My university makerspace. 3D printing, 3D scanners, laser cutting, sewing machines, Cricut machines, vacuum molding, you name it. It doesn't have to be for uni-related work. And it's completely free. 95% of the time, the materials are supplied for you. If you want to use your own material, you can. For example, they only supply 3mm plywood for the laser cutter. If you want 5mm, you need to source it yourself. For me personally, YouTube Premium. My spouse and I watch YouTube a lot, and there are normally a metric load of ads. I've heard people talk so much shit about people who pay YouTube Premium, but I use it so much, it's great. The shit talk only happens because they purposefully made the ads obnoxious specifically, so people would pay for Premium. I refuse to pay for Premium for that reason. I watch YouTube from my PC browser only, and have an ad blocker installed. I don't get ads. Pet insurance. Love my fluffball, and don't want cost to get in the way if something big happens. I looked into pet insurance, and it was like $1,700 per year. My one vet visit a year isn't even that much. It just didn't make sense for me to pay for something that was so expensive. It's $5 to $800 a year. My oldest dog is 8, and it's not for vet visits, it's for accidents, and illness, and emergencies. It's so you don't have to wonder if you can afford to save your pet's life, when the vet tells you the life-saving surgery costs $8,000. One of my dogs needed stitches, and that whole thing was $1,800. Her insurance was $750 a year, the deductible is $250. They reimbursed 90%. And this was not the only expense of the year. Now she takes liver supplements, and they reimburse them to me, all the time, at 90%. With my first dog, my bill was $8,000, again they reimbursed 90%, after the deductible. I do pay for regular vet visits though, that just doesn't seem to be worth the money. PBS Passport. Local TV shows, award-winning documentaries, Nova, and foreign TV. for $5, and no ads. All other streaming services get more expensive each year, and the content is usually crappy reality TV, or lame romantic comedies. If you live in the UK, PBS is kind of like our version of the BBC, without the licensing fees, and we get British imported TV shows. Regal Unlimited is awesome. Unlimited movies whenever I want, is definitely worth it for me. I go to around 4+ every month now. You know, a couple months ago, I would have agreed with you. My situation changed, and I stopped seeing movies frequently, so I wanted to cancel the subscription. It was like pulling teeth, and they still got one more month of payment out of me, because of how long the process was. Through speaking to customer service, and trying to get it all figured out amicably, I learned very quickly how predatory the company is. Now, maybe there's some of my naivete showing, but I really didn't expect them to make it so difficult, just to cancel a subscription. Left a very bad taste in my mouth, and I won't be using that service again. I encourage you to look into how you're supposed to cancel that subscription. Every other service I use has a nice big cancel or end subscription section of their app or website. It might be a little hidden, but it's there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I couldn't find any way to cancel the Regal subscription without having to email the customer service and likely customer retention team. Kindle Unlimited. Edited to add, also love Libby/library, but their romance selection is very limited. I ended up canceling mine because I found the general quality of what was available to be pretty damn terrible. Lots of indie books, full of bad writing, bad editing, the same tropes used over and over again. There were some gems to be found, but not enough to make the subscription worth it, to me. A strong password manager app. It's so easy to forget passwords, and we make so many, day by day. A good password manager app is good, if you can commit to using it, and it really helps. Bit of a more digital suggestion, but, oh well. Yes, and so much safer. We have a family subscription, and it makes sharing the passwords easier, too. REI, Global Entry, Apple Music, Sam's Club most of the time. REI membership is a no-brainer. It's a one-time fee of $30, and you get 10% cashback. Although REI continues to cut member benefits, as a one-time membership fee, to get a 10% return on all non-sale items, they still are steal. If you need camping, climbing, or cycling equipment and clothing, their prices have gone through the roof lately, and they barely acknowledge that they are a coup anymore. I was shocked to get my member rewards statement instead of my coup dividend this week, but if you need what they carry, there are very few other options anymore. AARP. Dirt cheap, and tons of discounts. When we cruise, we find the line's best offer. Then we get on AARP, and buy the cruise line gift cards, for 10% off. $5,000 cruise, just got reduced to $4,500. Buy them with a cashback card, for another 1 to 2% savings. And you don't have to be a senior to get it. I just took a vacation we booked through AARP. It was the same price as Expedia, but then AARP sent me a $50 gift card on top of it. Paid for 3 memberships right there. As a long-distance driver. XM Radio. I've now had it for 9 years, and have gifted yearly subscriptions. I have to tap dance, once a year, and pretend like I'm canceling, until they give me the $5 per month offer. I got a free trial when I bought my car. I used to wonder, what was all the hype? Didn't sign up for a subscription when the free trial ended. I think I lasted 2 days before I signed up. I had completely forgotten how annoying radio ads and radio jockeys can get. I just want to listen to music. Parents know this one trick. Zoo memberships. Got the one for all NYC zoos, including guest passes and free parking for us and guests. Sounds pricey up front, but we would go at least once a month through spring and summer for a day out, bringing grandparents, friends, and cousins. YNAB. Life-changing, and I'm not exaggerating. Underrated pick. It's really good, and I use it for tracking, but my only complaint is that the learning curve is pretty steep if you really want to dive into the budgeting part. I've watched several videos, and still have trouble figuring out how to assign everything a job. But it's good for everything else I need it for, so, still well worth the subscription. The Fitbit fitness app has been a game changer for me. As someone who struggled with knowing what to do at the gym for years, This has been a game changer. Also, I travel quite a bit for work, and being able to adjust exercises to the equipment available is extremely important. It's almost like having a personal trainer with you at all times. 100% worth the money. My climbing gym membership. Even paying extra to access all the gyms from the same company still makes it less costly than if I would pay for entrance every time I go. Plus, I probably go climb a lot more, because it doesn't cost me, relatively, anything. Even if that means I actually would save money by not going, if I didn't have the membership, it's still worth it for me, both for my physical and mental well-being. I guess that probably applies to any kind of workout membership that people actually use. Even if it's expensive, it will probably pay out in the long run. My job pays for my climbing gym, though, so I really only pay like €50 per year. The Calm app. $70 per year, so less than 20 cents per day. I use the PBS soundscape every night as my sleep music. My brain has now learned that when it hears that rhythmic sound, it's time for sleep. There are other soundscapes, depending on what you're looking for, as well as sleep stories, read by the likes of Cillian Murphy, Harry Styles, Matthew McConaughey, and LeVar Burton. Meditations, and a daily move, designed to target a body part, or stress, or fatigue, or whatever. I love it. Amex Platinum Card. I'm aware this may not be an answer for everyone, but if you travel frequently, the access to lounges worldwide is unbeatable. Uber/Lyft credit, every month, clear and PSA PreCheck, covered, all rental car insurance covered, trip interruption covered, immediate gold membership at all Hilton and Marriott hotels, etc., etc., etc. The $700 per year membership fee sounds steep, but if we add up what we get in return, we travel frequently, it's almost $2,400 per year in benefits. And that doesn't include the incredible service from Amex Travel Desk.